Nobody fucking wins. Like it or not, you fight, you lose. None of that shit is up to you. So just fuck it, let it through. Stop playing that fucking game. Like it or not, you bet you lose. None of that shit is up to you. So just fuck it, let it through. Now!
He really did.
My grandma still works.
Your grandma still works?
She's now
You mean employed or she's still active?
82 years old. She still has a small work, not full time. Small work. My grandfather.
But why does she do that? Is it because she wants to or because she
feels
needs the money?
bored, man. You know,
She feels
what
bored,
she
yeah.
does?
Yeah.
She goes to the local playground for children.
Yeah.
She goes there, stand there, watch of them. So if weird guy comes, then she would call the police. That's
So she goes on neighborhood watches and stuff.
yeah.
Ah, that's fine.
And the local council pays her a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah. But she feels bored, and she also goes to the local gym and cleans the gym
That's fine.
like twice a week or something.
That's fine.
She's 80 years old, and it looks like she will live another 2 decades or something. Very healthy. And my
Yeah.
grandfather-in-law, I think he's like almost 90 now, but last time I saw him, he was working in a farm.
In a farm.
Yeah.
These are actually heroes, man. These people are like
It's weird.
super amazing people.
Because now our generation is common knowledge now. If you work, you're a loser. Nobody fucking wants to work.
No.
and
You
shit.
know, I think we should be a little bit careful about that. I think this generation, our generation, younger generation, you know, millennials, all types, let's just say, we all work hard. It's not hard in a sense of physical work. You still work hard, you know. It's like, let's just say you work in a call center or something.
No, they don't
It's
want to.
extremely tough, but it's not physically
They don't want to
challenging.
work at all. Well, what I'm trying to say is that, like you just said,
Yeah.
all the people, they identify themselves with
With
the
their work.
work they do.
Yeah.
But our generation identify ourselves with something else.
Yes, I think more about your hobbies and your passions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
we don't want to work. Like everyone's talking about fucking financial freedom, so you leave on without
But
working.
the thing is, we're talking about. We gave all these examples. You know, what happened to my grandfather from my father's side to get your own frequency.
Yeah.
That's just like super lottery thing. It's not something is transferable in any ways. You know, it's like one of a kind. What my grandfather from my mother's side did, it was something that was happening. You find some guy that if you were good with letters, if you were good at school, which was very rare, you get a pretty good job. Usually they were aiming for police or fire workers because you had to have some, at least, you know, high school degree. It was a big thing back there, man.
Yeah.
You know, but now we're talking about you have to find a guy to teach you a skill to make a fucking
Yeah.
you
Now,
know, bad.
now things are too complicated.
Yeah, now things are too complicated. But think about it. He bought himself the whole place. He never rented. He bought it.
Yeah.
The place, I'm talking about the place where he worked when he was building the stuff. Let's just call it his little furniture factory. You know, he bought the shit.
Yeah.
He bought all the machine.
Yeah.
Which that will never happen now. Even if you become carpenter, you can afford to buy the shit. You will rent them.
Only
Random.
giant companies will afford to do that.
Yeah. And he was employing properly by the book, which was like unheard of for that age, like paying someone like properly. He was that age in Greece were like, oh yeah, take this man, it's fine. Yeah. And if somebody comes from the, you know, to check, if you work here, yes, say no, say it's my first.
Back-to-back transaction.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But all these stories, what I'm trying to say is it was, yes, they work hard. Yes, they identify themselves with
Extremely
work
hard.
first,
Extremely
extremely hard. But the thing is, they could do it and make a sizable profit. You know, they talk about, I like all these 70 stories they talk about, 60 stories.
Yeah.
We work hard, blah, blah, blah. Men were men and shit like this, right? That's fine. But think about this. I will say if my grandfather from my mother's side was alive, I would say, Grandpa, but you got 3 houses and you bought your own little factory and you were making millions. Of course, he was capable. I'm not saying he wasn't capable and he didn't work hard. But now that's an illusion. It's like unreachable. You cannot do that now.
Yeah.
So let's just say I found somebody that teaches me how to make furniture. Let's just say the same example. What will happen to me? I'll end up working in a factory.
You will exploited by big companies.
What happens if I try to open my own company nowadays? What are the chances this company to be successful in a level where it can actually fit me and my family?
You gotta be exceptionally good.
But how can I compete with Amazon and all these other companies?
Yeah,
it's impossible.
By being exceptionally good.
Exceptionally good. Yeah.
Exceptionally good and clever and lucky.
So I think that's the answer.
There's no way you would fucking compete with IKEA and shit.
You can compete with IKEA.
You cannot. Like I like shopping in Amazon.
Yeah, me too.
Why? Because
shit come on time and they're good.
It's not to say that I don't like going out in the town and shop offline.
Yeah.
I like to do that shit, but Amazon offers me better price, quicker service.
Yeah.
And they also offer me fucking full, very quick refund if I don't want it. Everything. And they have, of course, like all the selections in the world.
Now we started talking about our families, but we sidetracked it.
There's no way you can compete.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no way you identify yourself with your job, and unless your job is something that is either admired by the average person, like it's somebody that's like is like a doctor. Yeah, you're proud of that shit. You save people's life, or you're like some kind of performer, either an athlete or musician, stuff like that. Only then you feel like, oh yeah, I identify myself with this. But most people, they don't, because they feel their contribution is very small. What they take back,
they don't own anything.
Is insubstantial.
Yeah.
You know, laughable to mention.
They keep working hard for the company, but they don't own not even a little piece of that company. They don't own nothing.
The quality of life, now we're talking about 70s, 80s, 90s, were a lot higher. And things were a lot cheaper. People have to understand that.
Success of a company is not shared by the most. The owner takes it all. It sucks.
You know, remember, there is a line from the Starbucks Bible, I call it the 10 Amendments of Starbucks. We're saying, your personal success equals the company success and vice versa. I will say no. My personal success equals the company success, but the company success doesn't equal my personal success necessarily. Think about that.
No.
If I work hard, the company does well.
You have fixed pay rate. That's all you get.
Yeah. All you can do is go higher, but it's still fixed pay rate.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah. No matter how much you sell, you get shit.
And there is this place when you reach when you cannot go further. Because you need to have then BA and fucking, running businesses and stuff. You need to go to the schools. And then we go back to the conversation, how you get into the schools. It's a circle. You can be a store manager.
All the generation, they never needed this shit.
You had to be a good person, man.
Even high school diploma was a fucking elite. You get high school, you finish high school, there was an elite those days.
Shit,
nowadays, like even PhD people like struggle to find a job. It sucks. It's weird time. Weird fucking time.
Yeah, well, what can you do? It's what it is. I mean, I'll be like again the old guy sitting in the table telling this whole story. So come on, in the love of Uncle Soti, I'll tell you a story. I remember one time when I was little in the 90s that the butcher came in the house, knocked the door, and apologized to my grandma. Why? Because my grandma bought something from the butcher.
Yeah.
She didn't like it.
Yeah.
So what my grandma used to do, all these dramas, pick up the phone, swear at this guy. It was awful. You told me. I'll put it in the oven. And I put it in the oven and I had guests. And it was awful. This guy almost cried. He came by the house, offered her something else for free. Unheard of now. It will never happen. You know what I'm saying?
Very, very analog time.
And yeah, you go to the supermarket. It was a supermarket in any sense of form, but you had this personal connection, man. You know, people have personal connection now. The companies require that. It's a requirement now. You have to be good at this. But the company doesn't.
That's not genuine connection, is it?
It's, I believe from the people that work, it is. But it's not from the company, no.
You're required to do it by the company. It's your job description. That's not genuine fucking connection.
But you know, these companies, you know that really well. Don't fool yourself. They hire people that have empathy. They look for that. They sniff that. For most types of work, it's unnecessary. And not even I have to say,
I don't know about that.
hateable requirement. They don't like you to have empathy. But working in retail, working in customer service, working as a nurse, there's some type of employment, you know, sometimes some types of work, then they sniff people that have empathy and they hire them. You know, people do their best. I don't doubt that.
Good character.
Good character, yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. Okay, we were saying about families.
Tell me, I want to hear about the stories. Your sailor grandfather.
Man, I don't know much. I told
But you
what I
met
know.
him. You met him.
I haven't met him. No, he died, man. He was like my grandfather's father.
But you heard the stories, didn't you?
I heard many stories. Yeah. You know, my grandfather was cuckoo, man. He was crazy. He was a little bit crazy. I mean,
He what?
I'm not gonna say crazy. Okay, let me just justify what I have to say. He was really imaginative person, like I am.
He was Sotirios, right?
He was Sotirios. So he would always go to extreme alternative theories, including what we say now, conspiracy theories. So he was like really into aliens. He was talking about this stuff all the time. He was talking about aliens in Egypt. He was talking about the space. He was like so in love with this stuff, you know. My father was into history and he was checking all the stuff. Oh, where did we come from? And who was my father, and stuff like that. But all I know about my great-grandfather, Emmanuel, he was like a decent guy. He was working hard and he was traveling all his life. And he was like reading a lot and he was like academic, like captain of a ship. That's all I know.
So he spoke what? How many?
7 languages, I think.
So what was he doing on the ship exactly?
I think it was trade ship. They were doing
Trading.
Yeah.
Everywhere in the Mediterranean.
So Italy, France, I guess, Spain, Morocco, Algeria, Turkey, what else? Israel maybe. Yeah, he was doing this back and forth.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty amazing life, isn't it? So yeah. You know, my grandmother, my father's mother, you know what she was doing? She was making clothes. She was into fashion. She was building them herself. And there was a time in the 80s she was so successful. She became so rich. And that lasted a little bit.
Why?
Because she wasted it.
Why?
Because that's the curse of working class. We're good at making stuff.
Yeah.
We can become successful.
Yeah.
But we don't have the structure to keep it and make it grow. So she had a full business in Thessaloniki. Proper, how can I say, house of fashion. Like she was making everything.
Yeah.
Pants, shirts, hats, everything by herself. She was
Yeah.
really talented with her hands, you know,
Yeah.
my grandma. And she was drinking. She liked that. She liked that game, my grandma. difficult times, man.
Tell me, man. Tell me. This is the stories.
What's
The
story about?
aliens and shit.
Ah, yeah. He said it's impossible for people. He said that's the theory that he needs you. That people carry the stones and the slavery.
The pyramid.
Yeah, he didn't believe in that Egyptians had slaves.
He must have seen something, right?
No, he had a book. He showed me the book. The book show. Imagine like if you read it, it was in ancient Greek. So it took me a while to understand what he was saying. It takes you a while because it's different type of phrasing, right? So in the book, he had a picture of. It was like a. How you call it? It was like the pyramid shape, but hollow, with nothing. And it was like the axis and all the lines were hollow.
Yeah.
But it had some, let's just say, 10 centimeters or like 5 centimeters, something like that, diameter. So on the top, something like a helicopter will come and put some liquid thing, let's just say cement or whatever.
Yeah.
And this will take the shape of the pyramid. He had books like that. Banned illegal stuffs because you can't have stuff like that.
Where did he even find that shit?
That was his game, man. He was trading this stuff. He had the whole library. Notebook was like, he liked this guy. I told you he was best friends, Mr. Konstantinos Kavafis. He's like one of our national poets. They grew up together. And he was telling me stories that, he was gay. He was one of the first, gay poets of the 18th century to come out of the closet. 19th century, sure.
Yeah.
And he was telling me stories about that. And he liked poetry. He had like a lot of poetry. But most of the stuffs were not normal stuffs. They were like all alternative, like alien visiting. He had this book with a lady in US with a testimony, like pure tinfoil, man. Like she had like a touch of a hand.
Yeah.
And the hand had like 3 fingers or something. And
Wow, like what was here?
she had like a touch. It was like bruise. So she woke up and she was telling the whole story that some alien entity came to her house, picked her up, and I don't know. They had intercourse, I think. And he was reading me the stuff. And I was little. I was like 14, 15. Now I was laughing my ass off. My uncle would say, shit, Dad, please stop. He was like annoyed. And he was like getting annoyed because he wanted to tell his stories. If he wanted to tell his story, he will never stop. He will say, no, I have to say this. And he will turn to me and say, you know how many? There are billion stars. Did you know that? I said, no, I didn't. I didn't actually. He was teaching me this fucking astrology stuff. So I said, there are billion stars. So what are the possibilities not to have life in other planets? So I thought about it. I said, yeah, they're small. If you think about it, the chances are there are aliens. That's the truth. But that doesn't mean that's the one with the fake one. A lady in Nebraska, she got touched by an alien. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, you wanna listen to this stuff, yeah? Yeah.
So he thought pyramid was built by dropping concrete, some kind of concrete, and was molded in this shape.
Yeah. My grandmother had part of the ancient Greek literature, man, that said we had friezes in ancient Greece. He was believing that stuff.
I think that was true, right?
My guess is that, it's likely.
Think about this Antikythera device.
It would be much easier to make a frieze.
It took fucking several years for Stanford University to analyze that and replicate that.
Yeah.
Took them years, maybe decades.
Yeah. So
it was like a computer.
Yeah. If you want me to just say yes or no, yes, I believe it, because I think the architects that built the Parthenon, they weren't just good architects. They knew all the stones. So in there, how was this frieze working? In the book he saw me.
Yeah.
My grandpa.
What was it?
He had You create ice, and this structure, this material, will reflect it. It wasn't a machine. It wasn't a rotor. It was very old school, but it will keep it for more, and it will keep it stable because they were finding stones that will hold cold more. Things you wouldn't build a house necessarily, but things you put in a house.
Yeah.
And if I don't know how they made the ice, I'm not sure about this part, but this shit showed that on the bottom they had ice, and it was like from stone, but this stone was special. It will keep the ice for hours. It will not melt. Endless.
I believe there are.
Yeah.
There
So
are,
he had all these kinds of books, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I believe it. I believe
Yeah.
there were a lot of ancient technology beyond our imagination.
Yeah.
That couldn't be passed down to our modern time.
Or it's been rehearsed to us. It's resold now, maybe.
Yeah, or like could have been lost or removed on purpose.
Yeah. I think it is removed on purpose and then resold to us, in a sense, as a new discovery, but it's sold back. There's a chance.
Yes, big chance.
Yeah, so, yeah, my grandfather was like into this stuff. He believed in ghosts. He was telling stories about ghosts. He was great.
What?
He was like a weird person. He was like Christian, but he believed in aliens. He believed in these alternative theories. He was reading ancient Greek books and stuff like that. Like, he was talking about the pantheon of gods, like the ancient gods as well. He had really open mind, and he was like really curious-minded person.
He was curious about everything.
And if you tell him, what do you think about that? You say, yeah, it's possible. I think that's where I got it from him. You know, I don't have this black or white approach to things. You know, I think I got it from him because it's like, you never know. Like,
Yeah, you never know.
you cannot disprove something.
You never know.
You know what I'm saying?
Only a fool believe he know.
Yeah.
We don't fucking know nothing.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I have to say.
You said your grandfather of your mother's side hated church and priest.
He didn't hate church, he hated priests. Because for him, it was unbelievable that they were drinking. He didn't like that. He caught them drinking, said, I saw this priest, he was drinking. Why are you drinking?
But isn't that right?
I think it is right when there's no fasting. But my grandfather didn't know the teachings. My grandfather said, yeah, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. But I don't go to church because I don't like this motherfucker. Simple like that. And why should I correct it? That's why he used to say. But before he died, he started going to church. He started believing. I don't know what happened to him. He got like closer to death, I guess. But he never said I don't believe in Jesus or you know. For me, he was the most Christian person I've met in my life. It's like from the book. It's like from the rule book of how to be a Christian. You know, he was doing all the stuff right. He was just not into the dogma stuff. He didn't know the teachings, and yeah, he was making fun of. He was mean sometimes. He was making fun of my grandma going to church. Like, the fuck going there? Fucking priests. He hated
My father did the same.
He hated them.
My father did the same all the time.
You know, people have weird reaction, man. You know, Jack, one of my best friends. You know, he hates the church. But again, he's a good example of a person. For me, it's like super good person. You can say he's super Christian.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
without all the theories and
Yeah.
all the going to church and stuff like that. She gets like crazy. She gets like foams when he thinks about people.
Yeah.
He doesn't like. He doesn't get the hypocrisy. There's a lot of hypocrisy in church, in every religion. I think.
Of course, of course.
That's that.
Especially Catholic, that's fucking evil. There's nothing Christian about these motherfuckers.
There is something wrong there. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something.
My
wrong
father
there.
used to do the same.
Make
Fun of my mom going to church.
When I say there's something wrong, there's something wrong in organized religion. It can be. I mean,
I'm sure.
it sounds like a franchise, man. It's
Yeah,
like-
that's exactly what it is. Fucking franchise.
Yeah.
It's McDonald's. The fucking McDonald's bullshit.
But doesn't it like amaze you that all religions have the same stuff, the same like approach to things?
I believe, like your grandfather, you can be very Christian or something equivalent to, like as good and righteous like a Christian person without really going to church, without believing in one God. You're just being a good man, you know?
Yeah.
My father did the same. Like he always joke about this shit.
Yeah. I get it, yeah.
Yeah. My father
Tell me about it. Tell me about where he got this.
told me and my like we are 4 people nuclear family, and when I was a kid, except him, all 3 of us went to church.
So you're going every Sunday to church?
Yeah.
You
With
said
my
you
mom.
were singing to church as well.
I was in a children choir in the church.
Okay. Answer me this quickly before we go to your family. Were this teacher that was teaching you how to sing whipping you if you didn't sing properly?
No, not in the church.
Not in the church. Okay. But it helped you because you're good.
No, not in the church.
You get all this. Go on.
You're confused with my piano teacher.
Piano teacher were whipping. Yeah, me whipping me too.
And her husband as well. He came, beat me, shit out of me.
Her husband, why?
He was a teacher too.
Fuck you, bitch. That's not cool.
Because I was lazy, I didn't want to do it.
You didn't like this circle pentagram shit.
And
cannot
I
do that.
I told myself I would never fucking play music ever again.
Isn't what the opposite that they should do? They should instill in you the love in music.
Yeah, so they
make you feel.
they assign
I wanna fucking quit.
they assign me work. You
Yeah.
play this today, and it's some kind of practice material.
Yeah, you play
Rules that
scales
somewhere
and
are
shit.
fucking written in fucking Germany or Austria for the keys and shit.
Yeah.
Practicing notation,
Yeah.
and then she leave me in the room. Once she leaves, I play fucking my favorite cartoon songs and shit.
What's wrong with
I
that?
fake it, and I fake that I tick the box that I did it.
But then she come back and you
And
cannot.
then she come back, she texts me, boom.
Bamboo.
I hated it.
Fuck that shit, man. Okay, go on with the church. You were saying.
He was like saying, why do you pray God? Pray to me, I feed you. He was like joking, sarcastic jokes like, Jesus must be the richest guy in the world. He gets free money every Sunday from all around the world.
That's a good one. That's a pretty good one. No, my grandfather was not saying these stuff, but he was definitely, going against the priests.
And I laughed with it.
It's a good joke.
But they were feeding me this shit. Single, you should bring your father because he's gonna be in hell. Otherwise.
They were telling you this stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But now that I look back,
Yeah.
my father, yeah, he can be animal sometimes. He gets fucking pissed off, screams.
Yeah.
But generally, he cares.
Of course he does.
He does good deeds to people around him.
Of course he does.
Yeah. He works hard. He was responsible.
Yeah.
Wait! I have to stop you there. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Visit our website to join our mail list to receive news and special offers around the band and the show. Feel free to talk shit about things you like or dislike. And please support us through Patreon so we can keep making awesome content for you. Follow us on social media and don't forget, in a fight between idiots, nobody wins. Until next time.